Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mind the Moment's Tuesday morning mindfulness gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness teachers to share with us about what mindfulness means to them, and then also discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm very happy to be here this morning with Mary Starr Green, longtime meditator, yoga teacher, and mindfulness instructor. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Suzanne.
So
Yeah,
nice to have you here this morning.
it's great to start my day with you
Yeah,
and everybody else too.
yeah, it's great to be here. And so today we'll start off as we do with a question. Mary will ask a question for the group. And as I've mentioned, we've decided to begin the meditation. So folks who have 9 a.m. meetings who might have to jump off can do that. So Mary will start with a guided meditation and then share some thoughts with us. And then after that, we will have some time for questions. So if everybody could go down to their chat and open up the chat box. And then as a reminder, also you can click on the option for seeing panelists as well as attendees if you want to see everyone's comments. And with that, Mary, I'd like to see what kind of question you have today for everybody.
Well, my question is timely in that it is weather related because we've had some weather, and I'm looking out of this gorgeous picture window at a lot of white, and for me, it evokes a certain emotion and word, and I'm just curious of those that are tuning in. First of all, if you're looking out at your view, a one word that might describe how you're feeling about this recent snowfall,
Mm.
how it makes you feel, what you're looking at. Yeah.
Well, I know my husband is out shoveling right now, so I feel a little guilty. But um,
Well, I will share that because we recently made a move. We used to live in an old place that required a lot of shoveling, snow blowing, and we don't have that much right now to do. And so there's a kind of a anyway. There's some feelings around that. But let's see, we got some good stuff
yeah,
coming in.
so someone says, giddy like a kid again, peaceful, so peaceful, and apprehensive.
Yeah.
Someone says, quiet, beautiful, but worried about moving the car for the plow. Keeping an eye out. Once that's done, I will relax.
Yeah. Sure.
Always something to think about. All right. So with that, someone else says, good morning from Minnesota. A bit gray here, but feeling peaceful. I think they haven't had maybe the 10 inches that we've had here in New England.
We've had more out here. But
Yeah. So with that, I'll hand it off to Mary to begin a guided meditation for us.
great. Thanks, Suzanne. All right, so we're going to practice. You can be sitting or you could stand up for this. And just a little dive in, before we get going for maybe 12 minutes, is that I'm going to be guiding some of this, and probably you'll be hearing me talk a little bit more at the beginning, but then there's going to be more stillness and quiet from me. So just knowing that that's going to be so. So sitting, then you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze. This opportunity that we're creating for a sense of stillness of the body, regardless of how the mind is working. Bringing your awareness into the body and noticing the connection points that you're making with the support that's under you, whether it's the floor, your chair, and then in a very, very, real sense, Just aware of the sense of gravity acting on the body. It's holding you and the support underneath. It's reliable, steady support. It's moving into that kind of appreciation for being, held here on the earth in the very most basic way. You might be aware of sounds that are moving within the space that you're in. And the sound of my voice. And this body that is offering so much information in terms of our present moment experience. We are sensing beings. So as you're hearing, feeling, smelling, all of that, knowing that this is what is true in this moment. And how wonderful to have those sense doors and the thoughts and feelings running through. So all of this is just information to our experience. And seeing if you can settle into this basic truth of things. Such a beautiful way that we're awake and alive and gravity is here. The breath comes and goes, and there's nothing you need to do to change that. In fact, there's nothing you need to do at all to shift what is true for you right now. Just sitting. And continuing into this practice, this formal practice, it's helpful, and especially if you notice the attention is up in the head. It can really help to continue to sense the ground under you. In fact, orient the experience towards the sense of support under. You may choose a different, what we call an anchor. So it may be the movement of the breath, the felt sense, either at the nose or the belly. Using these as kind of soft tethers for the present moment. And in this moment, just aware of what is capturing your attention right now. What are you aware of? build a sense of steadiness, not through clearing our mind, not through experiencing peace or bliss, but to just be aware in the moment of our inner experience, the experience around us, and having a choice with relating with a sense of kindness and curiosity, even a sense of awe. In this moment, what are you aware of? And the anchor points of the body, contact, of the breath moving, of any sense door can provide an anchor, like a sense of steadying in the storm. And continuing to sit, and perhaps utilizing in a real intentional way the anchoring, a sense of steadying through just noticing the weight of body, or the breath, or anything else that you're aware of, any felt sense, including just the activity of mind. We can notice busy mind, quiet mind. Being with the shift of things, and even rotating, making a choice to notice one thing over another. Appreciating the body and its wonderful ways of feeling a sense of presence. these final moments as we practice together in this posture that is relatively steady and that is truly supported, reliable, even as our moment-to-moment experience changes within what we're noticing in the body and mind. Noticing, choosing that sense of curious kindness. In a moment, I'm going to have us end, and I'm going to ring a bell, a chime. Just one time, and it does have some resonance. So just allowing that sound to wash over and through, and just essentially tracking that sound. And then if your eyes have been closed, just opening the eyes and noticing that difference as you're taking in the visual cues in the space that you're in and on the screen. Thank you for your practice.
Thank you so much, Mary. I really, I noted that you had said steadying during the storm. Which I think a lot of us can relate to in relation to our practice. There are times when it's a little bit easier, and there are times when it's a little bit more difficult. And it brings me to a question that someone had brought up at one point, that what if I'm finding that the times when I feel I need the meditation most is the time that I'm having the hardest time meditating? And how does one deal with that during their practice?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I can certainly relate to that, because comes to mind is a couple of things. First of all, it's practice, and so something that I found helpful is just, first of all, cutting myself a little slack, that just, finding that moment to be still, as I'm going to find, I am going to find this sense of peace and calm in the storm right away, because I've created this time. So kind of backing off on any expectation. And also really noticing just the importance of showing up regularly, and especially on the times where you feel like, things are pretty stable now, so I guess I don't need to practice, because it's that time that kind of buoys us, gives us a sense of, familiarity, like going to the gym or something like that, that just becomes more regular, that gives you a little bit more grounding. And again, that word grounding underneath, something that you can rely on, as things inevitably shift. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really helpful. It is like anything else. If people have said, if they put it on their calendar or have a reminder on their phone or computer, that helps to make the practice more regular. But I do agree, the times I think when I find it more difficult is when I haven't practiced as regularly. So that's really good. Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they feel they'd like to ask during this time? Just type in the chat and let us know if there's anything that you're feeling in relation to either that question or in relation to the practice at all. I know when you talk about appreciation and showing up, that that is also something that, like being kind to ourselves during a time that could be a little bit more difficult. Um,
And again, that's a practice. That is a practice too. And
mhm,
a lot of this can feel like it's bucking our natural inclination, um, which again is why we practice,
mm,
you know, noticing and building that um, relationship to our minds and our habits. And yeah.
right, right. Someone has a question here. What's the best meditation to use for anxiety?
Hmm. Um, I'm not sure there's one best meditation. For me, when I hear the word anxiety, there's a lot around emotional, thoughts driven by emotion. Um, and in a very, very, very simple way, and I'm not saying this is the best, but for me personally, in the moments of the real churn, I would say that go a lot to fear and worry, because for me, that's how I relate to anxiety. Any of just the sense of the grounding, as maybe too simple as that sounds, just there's something reliable and stable about getting out of maybe something that's more churning upward and moving down, within the body, even if it feels uncomfortable, because we can experience all kinds of things within our body um, related to anxiety. But simply noticing it and being willing to stay with it, the jittering, just whatever is there. Um, and
Yeah, I've
I would,
heard,
I would
I've
say
heard,
within the body. Actually, I will say one more thing, because I'm going to a personal experience again. If I can get out of my head and just starting to look up again, there goes that window, and but like, okay, the sky's blue, like something bigger than um, the contraction of the experience. And it's a practice, and
mm,
try it out.
yeah, I've heard that said that because you're even like you were saying, grounding, because our heads are here and our feet are so much farther away from our heads, just to get as far away from our head as possible to feel the feet on the ground.
Hmm.
I think that's really great.
It, Sometimes it can feel oversimplified, like really, really.
Yeah. Well, truly, I've heard that too, that because anxiety seems to ramify itself in our breath, to maybe not focus on the breath, because that can cause more anxiety. But like you said, focusing on our bodies in different, connected to the earth.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we all relate a little bit differently. So just, working with it, noticing what works for you.
Yeah. Someone's made a comment here. When meditation leaders get started with instructions, it always surprises me when I think they're finished talking and we're going to be still for quite a while. Then all of a sudden I'm settled in, and then here comes their voice again. Is there a way to let us know that instructions are over and that we are truly moving into full stillness? Hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
think
something to consider. Now
that
I
is, thank you.
understand. Yeah, for sure. That's something that we can consider as we move forward. I understand sometimes, you get in a little bit of a quiet zone and want to be there for a time. So yeah, we'll take that into account.
I,
Thank you.
I, can I say something about that? And first of all, I so understand what you mean as somebody receiving that myself. Um, and some of this has to relate to how steady, what kind of experience we have with the being still, and in using a lot of the guidance that is offering, just a lot more for ability to kind of notice the movement of the mind. But certainly, as we get more experience with stillness, and there could certainly be, a lot more space. And also from a guidance point of view, that's great feedback for me. Again, as Suzanne said, to just perhaps guide it in a way up front that you can be assured of what the soundtrack is going to be. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. I know as people sometimes beginning their practice, like to have that guidance throughout, but I understand that it's nice to know when that's coming. So thanks for the comment. Yeah. Anything else that people have with comments or questions? The appreciation, going back to that, I find that during this particular time, I think we have to remind ourselves and come back to that kindness and that appreciation for showing up. Um, Many times we can get on ourselves about, oh, I should have done this or should have done that, but just appreciating that we're showing up and meditating can be very
Yeah.
helpful to us.
And that we woke up for another day where we get to practice, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Someone asked, what are other sounds one can use besides Singa to end a meditation class, besides the bell?
Hmm. Well, I don't know if that was a question related to how we're doing this today or just in general for your own practice at home. You know, if you're listening or setting your own timer, you'll have that sound cue at the end. It could simply be a voice coming in and, making a transition, counting from 5 to 1,
Mhm.
or just saying end, the end, and then having it a seamless transition of here you are, you're out of the formal meditation, but the informal meditation of the rest of your day is beginning.
Mm. Wonderful questions and comments. We appreciate them all. We've come to our time, though, so I wanted to thank Mary so much for coming on and providing such peaceful guidance for us this morning. It's just been very nourishing. So thank you very much for being here with us, and thank you to everyone out in um, online for joining. And so I just want to share a couple more ideas on how to keep in touch with us, as always. And that being, please visit us at our website and also be in touch with us each Tuesday and Thursday here. Thursday, we'll have Tar Healy here with us again. So please join us at 8:30 on Thursday. And visit us at Living Well at Home, where you'll find yoga sessions, Zumba sessions, and wellness webinars in order to keep yourself grounded during this time at home. Check us out on mindful.org/pain, where we have a number of pain resources, pain management resources, both in English and in Spanish. Visit us on our Facebook page at Mind the Moment, and also visit us on our YouTube channel, where you can find these sessions, older sessions, and also sessions where Tara Healy has met with researchers in the field to discuss mindfulness research. So that being the case, again, I want to thank Mary for being with us and for guiding us through this wonderful practice that we all are having trying to incorporate into our daily lives. So thank you again, Mary.
Thank you. A great pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and thanks for joining, everyone. We hope to see you on Thursday and see you again soon. Bye-bye.